Today, I want to talk to the single men and the single women. Now, that's not to say that anyone in a relationship or married can't watch the video. If anything, watch the video and give me your input on how you feel about the things that I'm going to bring up in today's video. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me today and checking out today's video. I just want to pray that you guys are all doing well. Blessings to each and every one of you. I'm just going to ask, if you haven't already, like the video, comment, subscribe, share it with someone that you think might get something out of this message. Let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about our current situations, right? As far as being single goes. Now, as for me, I'm surrounded by married people, right? All of my closest friends, everyone I hang out with, spend time with, is married, right? Have kids, expecting kids, trying for kids, and then there's me, who's single, doesn't have children, and yeah, and sometimes that could feel a little frustrating, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. And this common theme that has been coming up again in my life is being okay with where you are, being okay with where God has you. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I think it's really easy for us to look at our friends or our family or siblings or cousins, our best friends, or all of their relationships and compare yourself like, oh, well, why don't I have that? Why, why are they at this point with this person, and I'm still single, or woe is me, feeling bad about yourself, comparing yourself. And I think, I shouldn't even say I think, but God wants us to be in a place with him where we are content with where he has us, right? Where we can truly focus on him and focus on the things that he's doing in our lives so that we grow, right? Grow physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Because if we're in a constant space of like comparison, or um what's the word I'm looking for? Feeling bad for yourself, I guess. How are you to live in a thankfulness and joy and gratefulness of what God is doing in your life if you're so down on yourself and so um, frustrated, angry, sad with not being in a relationship? You have to be content with being single, and you have to be content with the journey God has you on. All of us who are focused on like, oh, well, I want to be in a relationship and I want to have a boyfriend or girlfriend and get married and have kids. You're so focused on the end goal, right? But it's the journey that's the beautiful part, right? It's growing with God, it's growing in your prayer life and your devotional life and your spiritual life. And um goodness, man, I'm blanking on my words today. But nurturing your relationships with the people around you and growing in community and learning, what God has for you, and looking real time and seeing what he's doing for you today, you know? And in that journey, in that process, in that being okay with where he has you, you'll meet that person on that journey. And then that journey that was going like this, now that person comes in and you are going together. And now there's no like expecting the end. It's just that constant journey, that continuous journey of growth, right? Because if you're going to get with someone, if you're going to be with someone, the person that God has for you, it's a journey of growth either way, right? But start the growth now. You can't continuously be looking down on yourself and feeling bad for yourself and comparing yourself with other people. Like, that's just not a way to live, right? God has so much for you right now in this present moment, and he wants you to see that. It's so important for us to realize that if we are constantly in a state of depression or sadness or comparison, then we aren't seeking God first. And we have to be seeking God first. We have to be putting him first in our lives. We can't be idolizing a relationship or idolizing these expectations that we have for our future over the realities that God is placed in front of us today. Because if we're living in this constant state of expectation of what our future should look like, then we're not even acknowledging the things going on in our present. How are we living then? We're essentially on an autopilot of sorts, trying to navigate to this expected future that we don't even know if it's going to come true, right? And that's not to say that God doesn't have someone for you, right? I think that if you have this inherent desire in your heart to have a family, to get married, then that is something that will be given to you. But it's in obedience to God that these blessings come, right? Like you can't be envious and jealous and wrathful and slothful and expect God to just toss blessings your way. Like we have to be living in a constant state, living in a constant path of honor and glorifying Him in everything that we do. And all of these things that I've been saying is not living in that state, right? You have to come to a place where you wake up in the morning, you're seeking after God, and you're joyful. You're at peace because you know He's got you and you know He's with you and you know that you're seeking Him out. You know, I understand that it's easier said than done, but you can put yourself in positions where you're doing things that you enjoy doing, you're spending time in the word, you're spending time in prayer, that you're waking up and starting your day off seeking the Lord, right? Seek the Lord in the early morning and seek the Lord before you go to bed. Create a foundation, create a framework for your day so that you are walking in the Spirit and that you are continuously seeking after the heart of God, right? Continuously trying to seek after His character, to seek to know who He is and who you are in Him. Because if you don't know your identity in Him, how do you expect to be blessed with a son or daughter of Him? Last week I had spoke about, I'm pretty sure it was last week's video, you know, a man being on a mission, right? Adam was created, Adam was given a job, a purpose, and it wasn't until after that, after he was given that job and purpose, that God blessed him with a helper, right? So to all you men out there watching this video, seek God, seek purpose, right? You need God in your life and you need that mission that God has for you. You have to be driven by something, right? And it isn't until you're following in those footsteps that God is going to put that person in your life. But you can't be doing this like, oh, I'm only doing this so I can meet that person. No, there has to be a heart posture, right? You need to have God create within you a new heart, right? Renew within you a steadfast mind, right? Man, my throat is so dry. It's so easy for us to go on social media and see happy couples and compare our situation to all of this fluff and juicy nonsense that is just thrown in our faces continuously. Um, so, do what you got to do and separate yourself from these environments if they're not making it easier for you. You know, go see a movie by yourself, go to the bookstore, go on a hike, go down to your local lake or ocean or pond or something. Start just doing stuff for you too. Like it's okay for you to do things that you enjoy doing and just do them by yourself, right? Or if you do have a friend or a family member who's willing to join you, then have them join you. Take this time now to start nurturing those relationships with those around you, to start really focusing on you, start reflecting, start thinking on, you know, oh, this thing gets me feeling this way. How can I, approach that differently? Or look at your triggers or your traumas or things, that baggage that shouldn't be coming into the next relationship with you, you know? There might still be stuff you got to heal from. There might still be stuff you got to learn. There might still be stuff you need to grow in, right? And I think that it's the main point of all of this is that if you're continuously living in the state of comparison, in the state of woe is me, how are you going to grow and be prepared for that next person? Right? Because we should all in our minds want to be the best version of ourselves when we meet them. And that's not to say that we won't continuously grow with them, but I think there's a level that we can all achieve before we meet the person God has for us, and then we grow to continuously grow together, right? There's like the best single version of you, and then when you guys are together, then there's like the, conjoined relationship version, and the the partner version that's growing with each other, that's sharpening each other, that's building one another up, right? Not tearing each other down. So that's the main thing I wanted to cover in today's video, guys. It's just stop comparing yourself, stop focusing on what other people have that you don't have. Be okay with where God has you as far as your relationship goes, or even in, your job or your other situations in your life. I have other videos talking about those things though. But stop looking, stop searching, stop downloading the dating apps, stop going places with the sole intention of trying to find someone, because God has that person for you, but you got to be okay with where he has you first. Is Psalm 37:4, I think, says, "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." Right? But you got to take delight in the Lord first. Okay? And don't do it to get the desires of your heart. Do it because that's just what you want to do. Take delight in him. Seek him out. Live a life that honors and glorifies him and that truly represents him here on earth. And I promise you that in that journey, someone's going to join you for the ride. And then you guys keep going on that journey together. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. I want to say it's a shorter one, but then I look at the time every week and I'm like, oh, it's definitely not a shorter one. So I'm not sure if it was a shorter one or not. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been showing. I ask that you guys, share this with someone who you think might need to hear it. Share this with somebody who you think can benefit from the message from today's video. I'm praying for y'all. I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed night, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all again next week. Love you all. Take care. Bye.